Hey there, this is Vertigo. Today I'm doing an in-depth review of the Pisces SH100 Slim Hanging Filter. Pisces Enterprises is a company that designs and produces a lot of products and livestock for the pet industry in Australia. Not many people put up in-depth reviews for Australian brands or things available to Australian fish keepers, so it can be hard for Australians to be informed and make the best choice as a fish keeper when it comes to what we want. I felt that doing reviews from an Australian point of view will help some Aussies out there. I noticed this filter when it hit the shelves in a pet barn in about early 2017. It really stood out to me because it had a different design from other hang-on-the-back filters. The Pisces SH100 is a fairly low power filter, moving 120 litres per hour. That's nearly a 6 times turnover rate for a 21 litre or 5 gallon aquarium, so it's best suited for tanks of that size or smaller. Other sizes are available for this design, but the turnover rates aren't huge and the largest size is best suited for 60 litres or roughly 15 gallons or under. The SH100 and its counterparts are not cheap filters when compared to other brands, but I chose to buy this one for a key feature which I'll show later on. Out of the box comes the main components: the main body of the filter, a lid, an intake tube, the pump and power supply, and a filter cartridge. The main body of this filter is made of this brittle plastic, which does make me a little bit worried about snapping something, especially if I don't handle it right. Without the filter cartridge, there's a surprisingly lot of room for filter media despite how small this filter looks. There are ridges for multiple filter cartridges if you like to play that game, but I like to use my own permanent media, like ceramic rings or sponges. The filter cartridge itself is like any other hang-on-the-back filter cartridge, a strip of filter floss and activated carbon. So it's not much for biological filtration on its own, and it won't be that good for planted aquariums. Activated carbon can remove some nutrients from the water that are vital for plant growth. On top is this tube that brings in the water. It's easy to remove and clean, but I'd also be careful handling this kind of plastic. The filter is designed for small aquariums, so I wouldn't worry about whether or not it will fit on aquariums with very thick glass or a rim. Keep in mind that most lids are not compatible with hang-on-the-back filters because they tend to stick out of the aquarium. On the bottom of the housing is a little piece that helps the filter stay upright against the outer edge of the aquarium. Not all hang-on-the-back filters have this, so it's nifty. Unlike most hang-on-the-back filters, the pump attaches to the front of the filter where the intake is instead of the back. This is a really important design choice. The motor stays submerged in a full aquarium and eliminates the need to prime it. Most hang-on-the-back filters require priming to work properly. This means manually pouring in aquarium water with a cup to get it started. This is a problem if you have a power outage. If you're not around to prime the filter, the motor will run dry, and the filter won't pull any water on its own. This damages the lifespan of the filter and can even be a fire hazard. Filters that run dry can get really hot. The only thing that I don't like about this design is how awkwardly the power cord comes out of the pump. Other hang-on-the-back filters of similar design have a cord flush against the housing, and that keeps it sort of nice and neat and tucked away. With the SH100, I have to tuck the power cord behind the waterfall part of the housing to kind of lead it out of the aquarium without being an eyesore. The impeller of the filter is easy to access. It doesn't take much effort to open the housing to get to it, and having easy access to the impeller is important for the cleaning routine of a filter. Cleaning the impeller also lengthens the lifespan of filters and will improve the flow rate of the water if you ever find it dwindling over time. I often find that it takes strength to access the impeller for most hang-on-the-back filters, so it's nice that this one is easier to open. This piece of plastic is the intake tube that attaches to the bottom of the pump. It's pretty standard, it's made of a cheaper plastic, so I would also handle this part carefully. What's nice is that the SH100 comes with a pre-filter sponge on the intake. This is really important for keeping delicate fins or small shrimp away from the intake. A lot of people, including myself, have had the horrible experience of installing a new filter, only to have a long-finned fish like a betta get their pretty fins utterly destroyed by uncovered intakes. Since the SH100 comes with it, I don't really need to worry about getting extra things to cover up the intake and protect my fish. And lastly is this lid, which keeps it all nicely covered. Here's the filter in action on a 21 litre or 5 gallon aquascape. I've thrown in some mature media from the old filter into this one. Now that it's plugged in, the filter immediately starts to self-prime and fill up. The flow of this filter doesn't seem to bother the betta or shrimp living in this tank at all, and it doesn't take up much room in the tank, which is what I wanted. Now, if only Australian aquarium heaters could be more compact for nano aquascapes. I just ate a fly. I need some water. Oh my god.